So now that we have learned corkscrews, we're going to be learning windmills. A windmill is when you take a corkscrew and you do it above your head. So a corkscrew looks like this. Now, you don't have to enter it from a corkscrew. There's lots of different ways to enter a windmill. And there's lots of ways to leave it. But we don't need to worry about those as much. We're just going to do it from our corkscrew, because we already know that movement's going to be the easiest way for us to enter it. So, as you're doing your corkscrew, you're going to keep going up above your head. Make sure that you can do it above your head. And instead of coming down, like you're trying to get as close as you can to the bottom of your arm here, instead you're going to come kind of down at an angle here. So, let me first show you what it looks like here. And eventually you're going to turn, and instead of going like this, as it comes down, you want to throw it above and behind your head. And when you do this, you're going to hit yourself in the back, or you'll hit yourself in the side of the face. That's fairly common. But you're going from this upwards motion to going straight up and behind your head. So, if needed, if you understand your corkscrew motion, at least if you're doing it with one hand, this is going to be a lot easier. You can take and go from a forwards, so it's going to my left side at the top. It's going to my left side. And I can go behind my head, in front of my head, behind my head, in front of my head. This. And I'm doing the same swaying motion that I was doing before here, and when I was doing my weave. That same motion. Except now, I'm doing it sideways. And try to get it as close as you can to the back of your head, or at least your back. And try to get it as close to your face as possible. And that's going to clean this up quite a bit. Make sure you can do that with one hand, and make sure that you can do it with the other. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from our corkscrew, and we're going to do that motion that we did before, where we kind of sway it up and over our head. So it's going out, up, up, out. We're doing it at the bottom of our corkscrew. We're kind of, this is more like a plane bend, but it's a fairly simple one. Going from the swaying motion, and right here, you're plane bending straight up. Like you're kind of doing an extension. You're going to go behind your head and back out. So, together, you're going to get them to do this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And remember, it is the same motion that you are doing here. The only difference is that instead of you going up at an angle, you are going straight up and down, almost, above your head. So get it to where you can do this and hold it. Don't try to do anything fancy with it, just make sure you can hold this for about 15 seconds, and that you can get out of it. I'm also going to show you the extension that you can do out of this windmill, because we've already covered extensions. When you're doing a windmill and you want to leave a windmill, there's this awesome point where when your right arm comes down, where it can just kind of fly out like that. and this is an extension. You're going to do it with both arms. And now, that windmill that you were doing before is no longer as stuck as you were before. So before you were kind of stuck in this motion, and you might learn how to get out of it by doing a wave or something, but now you have complete control to leave it because you can do this, and then do an extension, and go back in, do an extension, and go into your 3 bead, do extension, and go to this, extension, and go to this, extension, 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 that sort of thing. And when you do your extension, make sure you're doing it in front of you. In case you didn't notice what I'm doing. I'm not trying to do my extension when my hand is going down behind my back. I'm doing it as it comes down in front of me. That way I can do my extension. And practice that. If you have any issues with it, feel free to post some comments and things like that, and I'll see if I can help you out or make another video specifically dealing with your issue. Okay?